Hey, K-pop and juice fam, welcome back to a space where we don't just sip the tea, we feel it. Today's story isn't loud, flashy, or scandal-driven. It's quiet, emotional, human. And it revolves around someone many of us have watched grow from a soft-spoken idol into a national figure carrying an unimaginable weight on his shoulders. Cha Eun-woo. Astro's visual, Korea's face genius, and beyond the titles, a son. Recently, reports and insider conversations circulating online suggested that Cha Eun-woo's mother was seen breaking down in tears after his military exit, overwhelmed by the mental and emotional pressure her son had been under. No cameras shoved in faces, no official statements, just whispers that hit harder than any headline because they reminded fans of one thing we often forget. Behind the perfect smile is a young man who has been carrying the expectations of millions. And behind him is a mother who has been watching it all quietly. So today, let's slow down. Read with your heart open. And as always, I want you to talk to me in the comments as we go. Have you ever felt pressure so heavy that even your family could feel it before you said a word? Keep that thought with you. Cha Eun-woo's journey has always looked unreal from the outside. Trainee days marked by praise and pressure. A debut that instantly placed him under a microscope. Endless compliments about his looks that sometimes drowned out recognition of his effort, discipline, and talent. Being labeled perfect sounds like a blessing, but perfection is a cage. When everyone expects you to be flawless, where do you put your exhaustion? Military service for most Korean men is already a period of intense physical and psychological adjustment. You're stripped of your public identity, placed into a rigid system, and expected to endure silently. Now imagine entering that space as Cha Eun-woo, not just an idol, not just an actor, but a symbol, a standard, someone people project their ideals onto. Even in uniform, he couldn't simply disappear into anonymity. Every move was watched, every update dissected, every silence interpreted. Fans noticed subtle changes. His letters carried weight. His words felt more measured, sometimes heavy with reflection. There was pride, yes, but also restraint. Many fans praised his strength without realizing that strength often comes from learning how to endure pain quietly. And while fans debated his roles, visuals, and future projects, his family was watching something else entirely: the mental toll. The reports about his mother breaking down didn't describe drama. They described relief mixed with pain. Relief that her son had completed a demanding chapter. Pain from seeing what it had cost him emotionally. Any parent can relate to that moment when your child finally comes home, and only then do you realize how much they've been holding in. Sometimes children don't cry until they're safe. Sometimes parents don't cry until they know their child survived. Think about that for a second. When Cha Eun-woo stepped out after military service, fans saw an idol returning. His mother saw her son, older, quieter, changed. Mental pressure in the Korean entertainment industry isn't new, but it's still not talked about enough. Idols are trained to smile through fatigue, to bow through anxiety, to thank fans even when they themselves are running on empty. For someone like Eun-woo, whose image has always been tied to gentle perfection, admitting vulnerability is even harder. How do you say "I'm tired" when the world keeps telling you how lucky you are? And here's where it gets even more complicated. Cha Eun-woo has experienced loss. Real, painful loss that reshaped him. Losing Astro's Moonbin left a scar that words still struggle to describe. Grief doesn't pause for schedules or military service. It follows you into silence. It sits with you during long nights. For a mother watching her son carry grief, pressure, and national duty all at once, tears aren't weakness, they're love. Many fans online shared stories of seeing Eun-woo at recent appearances and sensing a shift. Not bad, just deeper, more grounded, less boyish, more introspective. Growth often comes at a cost, and that cost is usually invisible to the public. His mother's reaction became symbolic, not of fragility, but of how much had been endured behind closed doors. Let me ask you something. Do you think we, as fans, sometimes confuse strength with silence? Drop in the comments if this question hits you. One of the most touching parts of this story is that nothing was sensationalized by Eun-woo himself. No interviews about suffering, no dramatic statements, just quiet continuation. That's very on brand for him. He's always been someone who chooses dignity over noise. But dignity doesn't cancel pain. It just hides it better. Parents of idols live a very unique reality. They're proud, yes, but also constantly worried. They watch their children be praised by strangers and criticized by strangers in equal measure. They see online comments their children pretend not to read. They hear exhaustion in voices that still say, "I'm okay." For Cha Eun-woo's mother, the military exit wasn't just an end of service. It was the end of a long season of worry. Fans reacted strongly to the reports. Many expressed guilt, wondering if expectations placed on Eun-woo had been too heavy. Others expressed gratitude for his resilience, for his quiet honesty, for surviving a chapter that clearly tested him. Some fans shared messages directly addressed to his mother, thanking her for raising someone so kind, so respectful, so strong. And honestly, that's the energy we need more of in fandoms. Less entitlement, more empathy. Cha Eun-woo has always carried himself with grace, but grace doesn't mean immunity. The mental pressure of constantly representing perfection, of never slipping, of being the safe choice is immense. Military life strips away glamour and replaces it with routine, discipline, and isolation. That environment forces reflection. It brings unresolved emotions to the surface. For someone already introspective, that can be both healing and overwhelming. Some insiders suggested that his mother's tears were also tears of recognition of how much her son had matured emotionally. Growth can be beautiful and painful at the same time. Watching your child grow tougher because the world demanded it is bittersweet. You're proud, but you wish they didn't have to harden so soon. What do you think changed the most about Cha Eun-woo during this period? His mindset, his priorities, his sense of self? I really want to hear your thoughts. As he steps into the next phase of his career, there's a noticeable shift in how fans talk about him. Less about face genius, more about depth. Less about perfection, more about humanity. Maybe this chapter, as heavy as it was, allowed space for Eun-woo to be seen more fully, not just as an idol, but as a person who has lived, lost, endured, and grown. His mother's reported breakdown isn't a sign of weakness in their family. It's a reminder that love doesn't disappear when someone becomes famous. If anything, it intensifies. You worry more, you pray more, you cry more, often alone. In a culture that praises endurance, moments like this quietly challenge us to redefine strength. Strength isn't never breaking. Strength is breaking in private and still choosing to move forward with kindness intact. Cha Eun-woo has done that, and his mother's tears tell a story no award ever could. Before we wrap this up, take a sec. If you're a fan, promise yourself this: support without suffocating, love without demanding, celebrate without forgetting that idols are human first. And if you're someone carrying pressure silently, let this story remind you that someone, maybe a parent, maybe a friend, is feeling it too, even if you haven't said a word. So tell me, K-pop and Juice family, after everything Cha Eun-woo has been through, what do you hope his next chapter looks like? Peace? Bold roles? A slower pace? Drop your thoughts below, like the video if this touched you, and don't forget to subscribe so we can keep having these honest, heart-to-heart conversations together.